Well, this is the books and music. Wait a minute. I just realized I muted the mics. No, 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 no. Okay. So this is the books and music review show. Sorry about that. Stuff happens, life happens. And when life gives you lemons, squeeze the day, make lemonade. Now I have to check my mics. So I am on mic number, let's see. I'm on mic number 2. Hold up, I'll be right with you, folks. Now you really know you with the books and music. On music, mic number 2. Okay, how's that? Mic number 2. Okay, that should do it. Okay, let's start over, but not start up. What am I doing today? Hold on a minute. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. How's that? We'll leave that and that. I don't know why I have an echo. I think I have it too high. Something wrong with the mic. Technical difficulties. Yeah, because I can't see you. Hello, mic. Okay, we'll try that. Do you know what? Don't touch the equipment. Just let me know if it goes to 4. Like, if it's not going up to at least here, let me know. Okay. Come on in. Yes, you coming in? Okay. Think you heard that squeal, huh? Okay, so this is the Books and Music Review Show. I think that's okay, right? Yeah. It's going up to 4, so just checking the levels on the mic. I don't know why that made that funny sound. It's still making a funny sound. I think it's too loud. Have the level up too high. Is it going past 4? Yeah. That's why. I'll fix that. Thank you. I forgot I speak louder than most people. Okay, that should do it. It's like when you're playing a game and you go do over. So that was our do-over. Okay, so again, squeeze the day when life gives you lemons. Make lemonade, but make sure you put a little sugar in it. You saw the disclaimer. Be your own physician. If you're not allowed to have sugar, don't have sugar. But you know what? I'd rather have sugar than artificial sweetener. I read in a science magazine like a million years ago, probably about 20 years ago, that the artificial sweeteners cause incontinence in people. Now, probably not if you had a little bit of it, but I guess if you make a career of eating that stuff or drinking that stuff, it probably could cause incontinence. And I read that in a science magazine at least 20 years ago, so I can't tell you what page it was on. But I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. I'm just telling you my opinion. That's all. So what's the show going to be about? I keep looking at that camera. I think I'll switch to that camera. I might get a funny outline on me if I switch to the other camera. But I'm willing to try that because I like to look at this camera, which is not that one. So I'm going to switch it and see how that looks, which I'm not going to be able to see till I go in there. But what camera is it? Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. In fact, that looks okay. Okay, so I switched cameras. Now I can look at the camera. I can move this a little without making any noise, I think. Okay, so welcome to the Books and Music Review. We've only lost about 6 minutes of the show, but that's okay. Because you know what? The truth is, I really physically didn't feel like doing a show today. I can talk slower. I know people tell me I talk fast. People from the east talk fast, and people out in the south and the west, they talk slow. So I'll slow down. I'll pretend I'm from another part of the country. You're in luck because I have this book. I found this book. I'll tell you, you have to go into the dollar store because that's where I get my books for the show. A book that I like this. The name of the book is, I switched cameras so I can't do that. The name of the book is, I could get up and bring it to the camera. I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring it to the camera. The name of the book is called Life with Father. There you go. Life with Father. And, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't get this. Oh, take that back. I did not get this one at the dollar store. I think I got this one somewhere else. But I'm not positive. So I'm not going to tell you. But it's by the editors of Life. You know, that magazine, that company is by the editors of that. And what I loved about this book was it has beautiful pictures, of course, because you know the Life photographers are like, they do a grand job. So I'm going to read a little bit from this book, and then if I have time, from another book I have called the Reader's Digest Humor Collection. Laugh, yes, you have to laugh. And then I probably won't have time for this one, but I have an All Things Give Thanks, 90 Days of Gratitude, a wonderful book that I got a couple of years ago. Last year, year before that. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to use these. Life with Father. Yeah, go get your dad. You can watch this. And if he's not with you, you know he's watching from somewhere, right? Okay. I like this one because it has a picture of, I'm going to take that off. It has a picture of the trees, beautiful trees in the background and the people. And I know you can't see that too well, but I'm going to read what it says, and you'll be able to see it with your heart if you can't see it with your eyes right now. It says, "My father considered a walk among the mountains as the equivalent of church-going." Aldous Huxley, an English novelist, said that. So do you feel like that? You go into the mountains, or you go into the wilderness, or you go into the countryside. And some people would consider that similar to church-going. I guess because you could be one with God. It's kind of solitary and kind of quiet. And then there's a picture totally the opposite on the next page. And it is a busy city park with kids and stuff like that. And it says, "There's something like a line of gold thread running through a man's words when he talks to his daughter." You know, gold thread, it's important. The words are important. Do you remember the important words that your dad might have said to you? Sometimes they're important, sometimes not. And here's a good one. This one I'll have to show to the camera because it's a very pretty picture. I like it. The photographer's in the picture. And there's this guy, and they caught a fish, and the fish is in the picture. I like fish. There's the kid and the fish. And there's the guy. That's a big fish. Did he catch that? Wow. So, I didn't think of that. I should have set up a camera to do a close-up. Well, let me read this first, and maybe I'll see if I can do that. I don't know if that's possible, but I'll see if I can do that. The words on this picture says, "I believe that what we become depends on what our fathers teach us at odd moments when they aren't trying to teach us." That's kind of interesting. Like, you can say that about any person. I think when you have experience with anyone, any person, but especially your father, they're not trying to teach you something, but you can learn something from them, something very valuable. One of the things I learned from my father, which I don't take lessons too well, but I learned that you really don't have to talk about people. He was kind of a quiet, and they say guys are quiet. I don't know, but he was kind of quiet, and he didn't. Although he held probably a lot of gossip in his mind, he never spit it out to anybody. And what I'm trying to say is he never said anything bad about anyone. Yeah. He lived most of his life, and I had never heard him say anything bad about anyone. Even when there was maybe a person that you could say an awful lot bad about. He just didn't say it. So he was kind of cool that way. He taught me a lesson. Don't talk about people. Try not to gossip. And that was one of the things he taught me. And the other thing he taught me without trying to teach me was that well, some of you know him and some of you didn't. The other thing he taught me was to help people. If he could be of help to someone, then he was of help to someone. If there was something he could do for someone, then he did it. But he didn't sit me down and say that, like, give lessons on it or tell me that's what I had to do. He just lived his life in a way that he was helpful. So I believe that what we become depends on what our fathers teach us at odd moments when they aren't trying to teach us something. This is a really good book with really beautiful pictures and really beautiful words. I know you can't see that because I'm not showing it to the camera. I did read some of it, but I didn't read all of it. So I'm just looking through it. You tuned into a silent show. I guess I should put the name of the show on that screen there. And maybe I will try to get a close-up, so maybe I won't just show the book and you can see the words. To a father growing old, nothing is dearer than a daughter. And I was glad that I was able to be around for him when he did get older. That was kind of cool. And to all you people who want to say something that I'm not saying, I'll tell you what Anne Sexton, an American poet, said. It doesn't matter who my father was. It matters who I remember him. Remember he was. That's from Anne Sexton. And if your parents never had children, chances are you won't either. That's another picture in there. This thing I think is kind of cool. There's a picture of a little kid. The faith of the fathers. Grown men can learn from very little children, from the hearts of little children. For the hearts of little children are pure. There I go, talking fast again. I'm going to say that slower. For all you people who didn't come from the East, grown men can learn from very little children. For the hearts of little children are pure. And here's one for you, all you protesters out there. If we are to teach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, we shall have to begin with the children. And so, what does that got to do with the protesters? You ever seen these protests where, like, they bring their kids? Like, riots and mobs and protesting and angry stuff. And you look in there and, like, they brought the kids. Look, you can teach a kid about history and you can teach a kid about protests without bringing them to a protest. If you got a kid and you really love a kid, you don't bring them to a protest, no matter what the reason is for. Because you can love your cause all you like, but you love your kids better. So anyway, the name of this book, should you want to run out and get it, is, I tore the cover off, Life with Father. Sometimes I make my books a paperback. That's just the way I like it. Sometimes it's not available in a paperback, so you get the hardcover and make it a paperback. I saw this book once that I went in looking for in the store. And I go in, I ask, well, I like this book. It was a $7 book. And I ask, well, for the paperback. And they go like, No, they don't have the paperback. They only have the hardcover. So I bought the hardcover. And I made it a paperback. It is a wise child that knows his own father. My heart is happy, my mind is free. I had a father who talked with me. My father was always there for me when I was lost. But then I was never really lost when my father was there. These are really good quotes and really beautiful pictures from all over the world. Yeah, there's like one or two humorous ones in there. This is the Books and Music Review Show. And we usually air on Saturdays at 12:30. So on Saturdays at 12:30, tune in. And if you don't like this show, there's always another one. We do, every topic is different. We've done topics on music and poetry and current events and hats and clothing. And we did a show on Glendora. Shows on laughter and things like that. Okay. What else? Let's see. That's a really pretty picture. The guy looks like, I don't know if it's him, but it looks like it is him. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. There's a picture of him, black and white. Senator and future President John Fitzgerald Kennedy smiles at his infant daughter, Caroline. Photographed by Ed Clark. It almost looks like they're playing peekaboo. You got to see this. This is so cool. I'm going to see if I can set that up. Check this out. Wait, not that one. This one. That is a really cool picture. Okay, I'm going to see if I can set up a camera to do a close-up. But meanwhile, you might have to just sit here and look at this boring set here. Squeeze the day. So don't go anywhere. I'm just going to see if I can set up this camera for a close-up. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. Maybe this one. Okay, you're not seeing that on TV because, let's see. Okay, that. No, that's that. I wonder if we could do it that way. Could we do it this way? Okay, that might work. Let's see if that works. No, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work? Okay, we'll do that another time because we don't have time for that. We'll arrange that another time. I have to do that ahead of time. I should know. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, I'm going to read from another book. I like the humor collection. We'll get back to that book soon. Oh, wait a minute. I have to say something that has nothing to do with fathers or humor or anything. Oh, I have such a bad memory. I think Osaka. We have a new historic moment. Seriously, this is history. Osaka, I don't remember the last name. Do you remember the last name? I don't know. Oh, that was her last name. What's the first name? The first name was... Okay, anyway, that was the last name? Osaka. Made history. She absolutely made history in the U.S. Open. Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka. That's one for the women's history books, I'll tell you. It was very, very magnificent, but it was a little bit, somebody stole her joy. In the last moment, somebody kind of stole her joy by, well, here's the thing. She made history. It was her first Open. She was a young woman. You know, we're all about women's libido and support women. And she made history. She won the Open. Her very first. And I think it was history in her country, from her country also. Nobody won. She was the first woman to win the Open. She was the first of women and men, nobody has won the Open from her country. So here you go. She's got a magnificent historical moment, a fabulous trophy. And somebody is like, do you ever see those TV shows where, I forget what they call it, but like you take a picture of something and somebody comes and sticks their face in it? Somebody steals the show. So anyway, so somebody stole her moment, and it should have been a different moment. It should have been very different. It should have been a very joyful, a very wonderful experience to win your first Open at age 20, a mere beginner. It should have been magnificent. And we should have all those pictures showing her accepting the trophy and smiling, and with her family and smiling and all that joy. And I don't know, somebody stole her moment. I ain't going to tell you who stole the moment, but Osaka won the U.S. Open. And she was a woman. I don't know, there was some nonsense about somebody was yelling something about sexism. And I kept saying, but the winner was a woman, right? She's a woman. She's a woman. A woman won the U.S. Open. One for women's lib. There you go. Straight out of history. Now, back to humor. Oh, we never got to humor. Reader's Digest Humor Collection. Yes, they have a whole magazine on humor. You can't blame me for this because I haven't actually read it. I tend to sometimes when I buy books, it takes me 6 months to read it, sometimes a year to read it. You know, I'll get distracted. Like I found the one on Dad and the father, and I read that because it kind of reminded me of my father, some of those things. And so here we get to the humor one. I'm going to read it, something from it. I can't tell you whether it's funny or not, because sometimes people don't consider some humor funny. School tricks. How about we do it at random? I ain't going to take it at random. You know how I do the random things, right? You do like that, and you go like that, and then you go like that, and you open a page like that, and you point it at, and there. I'm talking fast again. Okay, I'll slow down. Okay, so this is at random. I did not choose this. It's the medical clinic. Oh, no, a doctor's joke. I work for sent patients. I work for sent patients. Oh, that doesn't make sense. I work for sent patients. Oh, okay, so they highlighted some words, and it looks like it's not part of the sentence, and I'm reading it from the dark words. Now I'll read it the right way. The medical clinic that I work for sent patients a letter asking if they needed transportation to appointments, and if so, why? Here are some of their responses. So the doc sends you a letter and says, do you need transportation? So these are the responses. I am under... Yes, some of them are funny. So somebody answered that question and said, I'm under the doctor and cannot breathe. That's kind of weird. It's what they said. I'm under the doctor and I cannot breathe. I guess they meant I'm under doctor's orders. I don't know. And the other one said, oh my goodness. I don't know where Reader's Digest gets these things. I think people send them in. The other one said, my husband is dead and will not bring me. They'd be in trouble if he bought her. And the other one says, I cannot walk uphill unless it's down. Oh, this is really good. I cannot walk uphill unless it's down, and the hill to your clinic is up. Well, now you know what kind of sense of humor I have. I like clean jokes. That was a clean joke. I only got 5 minutes. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to go to a different kind of joke. Let's just go. Here's one about a New Yorker. Okay. New York, a born and bred New Yorker is in the country, and when he sees a field of animals and says to the farmer, what a strange-looking cow. Why doesn't it have horns? Well, there are several reasons, he says. Some cows get their horns late, while other cows get their horns cut off, and still others never grow horns. And the city man says, and this cow? Well, the reason this cow doesn't have any horns is because it's a horse. And you heard it first from Reader's Digest, Humor and Collection. So the city folk don't know the difference between a cow and a horse with horns or whatever. So there's a whole bunch of different, really kind of funny jokes in here. Then there's one about a lawyer who dies and goes to heaven. This must be a mistake, he says to St. Peter at the Golden Gates. He says, I'm too young to die. I'm only 50. 50, says Peter. According to our calculations, you're 82. How'd you get that? And Peter says, we added up your billable hours. So there you go. You got a lawyer's joke, a doctor's joke. You can't blame me. They're not my jokes. I only have 3 minutes left. Okay. So if you want to be funny, get the funny book. If you want to borrow that, you can borrow that. And you want something for a keepsake, which is really nice. It's the Father's book, and it's called Life with Father. Beautiful, beautiful photography of some famous people also, and little kids and big kids. Are they all famous people? Let me see. No, they're not all, but the sayings are from famous people. I have 3 minutes. Oh, I didn't even put the name of the show on. Wait, I'll be right back. Oh, that's good. I got all the mics on mute. That's two. I hope that's the right one. Okay, so.
2 minutes, 40 seconds.
And I did start with the music.
Use the rose.
Is that right? That's right.
You can use the roses.
They're actually Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Oh, you didn't put the name of the show. Look at that. Okay, so if you want to hear from us, write to books.musicreview@gmail.com. Yeah, that's books.musicreview@gmail.com. And if you're wondering why I flash those names all the time, it's like, it's the rules. You got to have produced through. They told me I have to have that on there. And they said it has to be produced through, and then the copyright, which I did show. I'll show it again. Appeasing the millions. Okay, thanks for coming. Saturday, 12:30. Watch the show.